Wisdom Adibowale Onofue, and I'm going to be your facilitator in the project writing masterclass. So bear in mind, there are so many things you need to do before you commence writing your project. You don't just pick up paper and pencil to start writing your project, and then you need to bear in mind the following things I'm about to say. So before commencing your project, you need to have in-depth understanding about psychology as a field and the so many subfields of psychology. Afterwards, you also need to do a proper literature review to gain insight about past studies in that particular subfield of psychology. And then afterwards, you commence writing your project from chapter 1 down to chapter 5. So in today's class, it's a form of introduction of the things you need to do pre-writing your project yourself. So firstly, you need to take note of knowing what psychology is. Psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. You also need to be versed with the various subfields of psychology, which include some of the following: clinical psychology, social psychology, health psychology, environmental psychology, and the likes, developmental psychology, etc. So I'll quickly break down some of these domains. Clinical psychology is a subfield of psychology which applies scientific principles, methods, and theories to clinical practice or clinical context. So we also have forensic psychology, application of psychological theories, principles, methodologies to legal settings and crime settings. We also have developmental psychology, application of psychological theories, principles, methodologies to developmental milestones in individuals. We have environmental psychology, application of psychological principles, theories, methods to that's environmental psychology, application of scientific principles, theories, and methods to how well we interact with our environment. Also, we have, let's say, we have consumer psychology. Consumer psychology applies psychological principles, theories, methodologies to the context of consumer behavior. So, having known these various subfields of psychology, you need to do a form of introspection to earmark that particular field in which you want to center your project around. So let's take, for example, you are fascinated by clinical psychology, that is applying psychological principles, theories, and methodologies to the clinical context. You then need to look out for literature review within the clinical subfield of psychology, whereby you have so many journals, so many publications in that aspect. The popular ones include the DSM-5 and ICD-11. The DSM-5 is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which is actually written by the American Psychological Association, containing lists and classifications of mental illnesses, deviant behavior, psychological disorders, and psychological conditions. On the flip side, we also have ICD-11, which contains classifications of mental illnesses, deviant behaviors, psychological disorders, and psychological conditions. But what separates DSM-5 from ICD is that ICD is actually propounded by the World Health Organization. So you need to pick up these two journals importantly and be versed with so many psychological conditions, deviant behaviors, and mental illnesses as the case may be, and have in-depth understanding about possible factors contributing to particular disorder. Then you need to go on the World Wide Web by checking out for some of these disorders and the factors that may exacerbate these disorders. And after doing the proper research, you then gain insights into connecting dots and crossing T's, connecting the variables together to form a potential project topic for you. So that is a form of a background or overview of what we're about doing. In the next class, we'll be delving into chapter 1 itself. For now, I remain Wisdom Adewale. See you in the next class.